estimated that NGOs were disbursing between 12 and $15 billion per year. You see? So Edwards and Fowler has carried out a survey, and they found that NGOs are contributing a lot, right? They are contributing a lot because what you will see when you will read on the National Social Inclusion Foundation how the funding received by NGOs from the consolidated from the National Social Inclusion Foundation. You will see per million. So what are they doing with million? They are helping the vulnerable group, right? So they are very important actors as a service provider. So by 2010, in some part of the world, the NGO sector has become more powerful than the state itself. You see, become more powerful, right? So the exponential growth of NGOs over the last couple of decades is due to the twin process of shrinking public sector occurring as a result of cutbacks in public resources. You remember in module 1, we say why there is an emergence of a mixed economy, mixed welfare provision. You remember? There are three main things. Shrinking of public fund, needs there is high demand, right? And people there is no legitimacy. You remember? I don't think you have gone through the through unit 1. So please, because every time I always refer to the unit I have gone through, right? So if you don't read, you will not understand the next unit. Okay, so read unit 1, right? So shrinking public sector occurring as a result of cutbacks in public resources, declining state capacity, as well as eroding trust in governments. As I said, people do not trust the government on the one hand, and the growth of markets and privatization accompanying economic processes of globalization on the other hand. So you remember when there was COVID-19, how Caritas helped the government, right? They helped the government to implement some of the activities at grassroots level. So NGOs have the importance in a state, right? Any question? Any question, guys? Emma, any question? Emma, please, any question? Is it clear? Lindsay, is it okay today? I'm not too fast.
It's okay. It's okay.
Is it okay? Yeah, okay. So the term NGO came into currency at the end of the Second World War. So when NGO was named as an NGO, because there were group voluntary organization. So at the end of the Second World War, why? Can anyone tell me why after the Second World War NGO was NGOs took power? Why? They were more recognized. Can anyone tell me?
I will try.
Can anyone tell me?
Can I try, madam?
Sorry?
Can I try?
Yeah, try. Yeah, of course.
Maybe because there was many families without father, were poor.
Very good. Yeah, and there were lots of children who had no parent, the orphans, in the World War, after the World War. Yeah, right? So it's very good, Lindsay. So at the end of the Second World War, at the United Nations, so to differentiate between intergovernmental agencies and private organizations. So you will see NGOs, I think it was in 19, so you will see and the NGOs after the Second World War was more recognized, right? So the movement origins are much older, as I said. So the first international NGO was probably the Anti-Slavery Society formed in 1839. The anti-slavery movement, which reached its height at the end of the 18th century, was the catalyst for many organizations that followed. Other early NGOs grew out of war, including Red Cross. We have a Red Cross in Mauritius. And why Red Cross? Because there were lots of people who were injured during the war, right? So in the 1850s, after the Franco-Italian War, Save the Children after World War I, and Oxfam and Care after World War II. If you have time, if you're surfing on your mobile or any, go and look how what Save the Children, Oxfam, and Care. What are the objectives of this organization? You as a social worker, you are doing social work. It's good for you to know what this organization are doing. And we have like Children Foundation in Mauritius. We have Red Cross in Mauritius. Go and look information on this organization. So you see, in 1950, United Nations coined the concept of NGO. In 1950, these organizations were called an NGO. So according to Yazid Endo, the UN primarily dealt with government, but they also wanted to consult private, not-profit organizations that were independent of government, right? So the terms NGO were therefore utilized for sake of convenience to distinguish them from government, okay? Because, as I said, NGOs also provide services, private sector also provides services, government also provides services. So United Nations, which is known as an NGO as well, you go and look in information on that, go and surf, and you will see how they differentiate. So to differentiate, to distinguish them from the government, they term this organization as NGOs. Like today we have CSOs, as I explained to you. There are many definitions, different types, a diversity of definition of NGOs, right? The diversity of definition is so broad that even raises the questions whether finding a consensus would have to be termed mission impossible. Why? Why it's different? Listen, you work in an organization, no? You told me you work in an organization.
Yes, madam.
So you meet many NGOs who are working, right or wrong?
Yes,
right?
yes.
So why here it is said that it's a mission impossible? Why? To define NGOs. Like your NGOs is one type of NGO. Because we have different types of NGO and they have different objectives, they work at different level and the typologies are different. So the types of NGOs are different. That is, there is no one definition of NGOs, right? You will see now when I'm talking to you, when you will meet this NGO, you say, oh, that's what this NGO is doing. So the NGO is doing this, and this. Oh, this is a one NGO. And this NGO is doing this and this and that. So this is one NGO. So NGOs, as its simplest, refers to all organizations that are neither an official part of government nor a private for-profit enterprise, although it is notoriously acknowledged that this definition is too loose and covers a broad variety of organizations, you see, of different type, size, characteristic, purpose, reach, etc. Right? But there are different types of NGOs, different definition of NGOs. Lots of people have lots of theories. Theorists have gone research and they have come with definition. Why? Because they look at it from different perspective, in different environment, and they have different people. You know, when you carry out a survey, the methodology is different. So, but it said that there are commonalities in all these definition. You will see there are commonalities. For example, an NGO is a not-for-profit organization. This is one. They don't make profit. Second, they work to serve particular societal interests. They have a mission. They have a vision. For example, one NGOs, but it is a societal issues, right? Even though I am working with HIV, domestic violence, elderly person, so I serve a particular societal interest, societal issues. That's why I'm called an NGO. And they focus on advocacy. Like I said, the voice of the voiceless. Okay? So they focus on advocacy, they advocate on behalf of the vulnerable group and our operational effort on social, political, environment, and economic goals, which include justice, human rights, lots, education, health, environment protection, domestic violence, care, there are a panoply of services with these organizations provide and with the advocate, right? So you will see these three commonalities. Is it clear? So an NGO, to be named as an NGO, one should be not profit. They have a particular societal interest, issues they are dealing with, and they focus on advocacy. So they focus on advocacy, they work to serve particular societal interests. Why? Because they want to promote human rights and social justice, right? Why we work for vulnerable group? Okay, we work for vulnerable group because we want to provide them, right? We want to provide them social justice, right? Equality, equity, and human rights, right? So you will see these are the commonalities. Now, so I will go through the different definition and you will see the commonalities, right? Because I said, so you have to extract the commonalities in this definition, right? So any not-profit, you see, not-profit, voluntary citizen group, which is organized on a local, national, or international level. Task-oriented and driven by people with common interests. So interest on social issues. NGOs perform a variety of services and humanitarian functions, bring citizen concern to the government. So the advocate bring citizen concern to the government. This is advocacy. Monitor policy and encourage political participation at the community level. They provide analysis and expertise, serve as early warning mechanism, and help monitor and implement international agreements. Some are organized around specific issues such as human rights. As I said, they advocate for human rights, the environment, health, and there are many more. So you see, in this definition, we have their non-profit, right? They work for common interest, and they voice for the NGOs. They vote for the vulnerable group, excuse me. Then we have World Bank, the definition of World Bank. It's private organization characterized primarily by humanitarian and cooperative rather than commercial objective. So they are not profit. They pursue activities to relieve suffering, promote the interests of the poor. They work for the society, protect the environment, provide basic social services, or undertake community development. So you see the commonalities here and in the United Nations. And you will have Hudson and Byerfield. They said that they provide useful goods or services by serving a specific public purposes. Specific, for example, you're working for HIV, are not allowed to distribute profit, you see, to the person in their individual capacities, right? So they are not for profit. They are not company shareholders, right? Or voluntary in the sense that they are created, maintained, and terminated based on voluntary decision and initiative by members or a board, and exhibit value rationality based on strong ideological component, right? And then we have Desai. I think you will have Desai. Yeah? So the term NGOs intended to refer to those autonomous, non-membership, relatively permanent, institutionalized, but not always voluntary, because you will see in Mauritius, we have lots of organizations which are working, but they are not all voluntary, right? Intermediary organizations staffed by professional or the educated elite, which work with grassroots organization in a supportive capacity. Grassroots organization, on the other hand, are issue-based, often ephemeral membership organization. They may coalesce around particular goals and interests and dissipate once the immediate concerns have been addressed, right? So you see the commonalities. Have you highlighted the commonalities when I was going through the slide? Anisha? Anisha, are you here? Anisha? Yes. Okay. Devi, Anisha? Okay. Devika, can you intervene?
All of them are non-profit organizations.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah. So you see, but you will see all the commonalities in this, in all these definition, right? So now, if you don't have any question, can I continue? Can I continue?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So, as I said, organization have different typologies. They work at different level. They have different orientation. So, what are the main typologies of NGOs? Right, like I said in the definition, we have seen they are the two main roles of service delivery. They provide service to the vulnerable group and policy advocacy. They advocate on behalf of the vulnerable group. So these are the two main typologies, right? So as service delivery agent, as service delivery, they're providing services and just provide welfare, technical, legal, and financial services to vulnerable segment of the community or work with community organization in basic service and infrastructure provision. This is often a matter of plugging in the gap left by the partial service delivery of the welfare state to disadvantaged communities. So why NGOs are providing services? Because there is a gap, right? There is a gap. For example, let's say the government is providing support, social aid to a person with disabilities, right? But the government now trying to integrate a person with children with disabilities in normal school. But what NGOs are doing? I think there are 43 NGOs that are working with children with disabilities. They are providing these services. So there was a gap, right? There was a gap to integrate these children with disability in the society, right? So this is why we need NGOs, right? Because there are some gap left by the welfare state, and the the NGOs are providing these services, right? And then in terms of policy advocacy, that one was services, in terms of policy advocacy, NGOs seek social change. You see, they seek social change by influencing social attitudes, policies, and practice, seeking to reform state services on the basis of NGOs experiencing and to lobby directly for policy change, right? So it's very clear. So this is involvement in participatory public interest politics, and NGOs engaging in such activity realize the increasing importance of information with the gather through their own experience of working at gross level at the begin to utilize the power of ideas and information to promote positive change in the wider structure of the state, right? So these NGOs play a catalytic or seeding role, demonstrating the efficacy of a new idea, publicizing it, perhaps persuading those with access to greater power and budget, like the state, to take notice, and then encouraging the widespread adoption of the idea by others. So we advocate for policy change. Like, for example, recently there was a change in the Domestic Violence Act. Why? Because they were concentrating on victims only, but now there is an add-on that there should be some form of rehabilitation of the perpetrator, right? So this was like put forward by the when we had consultative meeting with NGO, because if you don't rehabilitate the perpetrator, this will perpetuate, right? The domestic violence will continue to happen, right? So if you rehabilitate the perpetrator, the root cause, so you can mitigate domestic violence. Ayamra, hello? Are you here? Is it
Yes,
clear?
madam.
Yes,
madam.
madam.
Because,
Okay.
Yes, madam.
madam,
Yeah.
because
Yes.
the perpetrator is also a human being, and if the focus of the NGO is on human being, it must be
Yeah.
also on the perpetrator.
Yeah, right. Human rights. You see, human rights. Maybe that person has a problem. Okay, the perpetrator has a problem that should be resolved. Okay, that be taken care of by psychologists, or, for example, if they don't have work. So you see, Lindsay, you have to work with that person. So, for example, if this person is like mentally disturbed, so if NGOs work with this person, this perpetrator, it can be like put on track, and then there is follow up, and then it could help in mitigating this domestic violence act. Okay, are you with me? Any question? Guys, I ask you question. It's your turn now. You have to ask me question to like if you have any clarification to be made by me. So just let me know. I will try my best to do it. Okay. So Devika, yes, Devika.
Yes, madame. Pareil, comment on peut dire NGO, comment nous avons côté domestic violence, ça vient de cause avec la personne qui fait perpetrator là. Mais ou pas quoi
Oui.
it should have been in dans tous les domaines côté d'un bon problème, même côté d'un drug addict, ça veut dire ça du monde qui peut vendre là, ou bien une victime côté d'un viol, ça du monde qui commet ça. Et tu viens overall un peu partout, parce que peut-être.
Oui, ça enough. Oui, there should be. Ça enough, ça bonnes affaires là. Mais le problème, c'est que quand on fait ça qui me dit gouvernement du choc policy, moi mon pas faire ça directement. Moi une policy, moi na droit c'est pour faire li, moi faire li, right? Parce que moi peut dire oui dans la loi et là moi besoin faire li. Right? Comment on peut dire drug dealers qui ça n'a pas le deal avec eux? Comment vous connaissez les drug dealers? Vous pouvez comment que peut dire oh là, et n'a pas NGOs, li pas get victime là, disons pills. Quand il parle rodé. Quand il parle de drug dealers, parce que les drug dealers, les gens qui vendent la drogue, je cache eux, non? Si vous connaissez comment on peut appeler, vous dire différent. Mais il y a un domaine comme la domestic violence, parce que tu là, il y a la police. Vous comprenez là? Victime là, il y a contre la police, je dis, ça bat moi. Un gens qui peut consommer la drogue, mais pas pour dire moi qui intelligent vendé en moi. Parce qu'il peut business à la drogue là. Vous comprenez, moi, je veux dire, là. Il dépend de la situation. Right? Par exemple, battle children. Nous capables de causer avec les parents là. Si pas un parent peut partir. Si un professeur peut faire corporal punishment. Nous capables de causer avec le professeur là. Right? Du moment où, so if you know the perpetrator, if you know it, then you can work with them. Right, Devika?
Yes, madam.
Yeah. Anyone? Ishika, do you have anything to add or need clarification? No? Lilette?
Madame?
Yes?
Si nous veut dire que vous travaillez avec des drug dealers, et par hasard, enfin, ça c'est moi qui peux demander, mais des gens qui sont condamnés pour supposément être drug dealers, avec ça, des gens n'a pas qu'à travailler. Mais là, je
travaille, hein, parce que quand il y a I get the annual report, the Mauritius prison, right? Mauritius prison, c'est un annual report. De ce website, je peux trouver annual report. Là, je trouvais combien rehabilitation programme il y a pour ça, là. Vous comprenez? Il y a un NGOs, comme Kinuete, qui est plusieurs NGOs, il y a la case A, qui a dans une prison, ils ont fait un travail social. Right?
Yeah.
Et non, ça. Et non, dans prison, oui, non. Mais comment dire, on peut dire, moi, alors, drug dealers, c'est plus difficile. Mais, et non, c'est une réhabilitation dans prison.
D'accord.
Correct? C'est-à-dire, get dans un annual report, je peux trouver, il y a plusieurs activités qui, Mauritius Prison Rehabilitation Officers peut faire. Right? Après, il y a un NGOs qui allait. OK?
D'accord.
Can I continue?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So NGOs originate from all over the world and have access to different level of resources. Like I say, some organizations focus on single policy objectives of aid, while others will aim at larger policy goal of poverty eradication. And there are different, as I said, domestic violence. It's not focused only to poverty eradication. or any, it's not focused only in this goal, but different. There are different goals, right? So NGOs can also be categorized in terms of who the beneficiaries are, right? So following Yadid and Doe, NGOs can therefore be broadly divided along two dimensions, whom the NGO benefit and what it does, the beneficiaries and its objective, right? So however, as Yadid and Doe argue, it is equally possible that a single NGO may occupy more than one single quadrant. Il peut faire plusieurs activités, parce qu'il get assez la même. Hein? Let's take, give me a name of an NGO. I know all the NGOs. I want to have one NGO from you so that I can explain how they work in different quadrants.
Chijams.
Okay, Chijams work with diabetic type 1, no? Type 2, type 1.
Type 1.
Type 1, right? So what do? They don't only provide services to the beneficiaries, no? What do? They also carry out sensitization campaign. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or no? And they
Yes.
also work with the parents. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. So you
Yes.
see, they have different objectives, but they focus on diabetes type 1, right? The main focus is on diabetic type 1, but they work on different activities. Okay, right? So you will see this is a diagram where you will see how advocacy. You will see it's a written advocacy. So Amnesty International, Worldwide Foundation, they work on advocacy, right? They work also like labor unions and trade association. They work on advocacy. We have beneficiary self, like alcoholic self, those who are self, right? The Alcoholic Anonymous and Chess Club. It's their own, like alcoholic. We work with alcoholic. We work like for alcoholic, like suicide prevention. We have anonymous person, right? We have Chess Club. Others, we have Salvation Army, care. They care for other people, right? So you go and read. It's in your manual. You go and read a bit about this. But it's not that important. You must know only that there are different organizations. There are different organizations, different definition. There are commonalities, right? The commonalities, yes, but the main typologies of these NGOs are to provide services and policy advocacy, right? So you have to know it very clear in mind in simple words, like what is an NGO, what NGO does. Okay? So you will see here there are multiple set of stakeholders. NGOs, there are different NGOs with multiple set of stakeholders. You know the difference between stakeholders and shareholders, guys? I ask Akhilesh, quelle différence il y a un stakeholders avec un shareholders? Moi, comment tu dis de unit 1? Moi, je dis qui s'en capté ça là.
Stakeholders, we are not dependent upon others.
Who is talking, Devina?
Wait.
You're talking. Yeah. Okay, I will explain. I asked Akhilesh. Akhilesh, try. Akhilesh, try. What is the difference between stakeholders and shareholders? Akhilesh, say it. Okay, so Devika, and then Adi Narayan. Wait, Devika first.
Yes. A shareholder is someone who contributes in a company and receive benefits.
Yeah.
And a stakeholder are those who are connected with a business.
Yeah, good. Adi Narayan, you raise your hand. Please tell me. Oh, you raise your hand, but no. So it's good, very good, Devika. It's all about stakeholders. Is all yes, Adinaren? 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 No, I think he's unable to. I think, yeah, yeah. You can talk now, Adinaren. You raise your hand. Okay, we are not going to delay on that. So, a stakeholder is the one who is connected, right? If, for example, who Devika told me about this. Devika, where you work? Can you tell me where you work?
Social Security.
Okay.
Ministry of
So
Social
Social Security, the stakeholders of Social Security is the staff, right? Is the beneficiaries, is those who are providing, like you're purchasing material, you're purchasing like computer, laptop, those who are connected with you, right? Whereas shareholders is one which receive, as you say, shares in a company, right? You're a shareholder. You provide, you give, you are one of the main shareholders, yeah, of the company, and you receive profit at the end if the company is making profit, right? Okay, so NGOs have multiple set of stakeholders, often including financial contributors, board members, executives, staff, and beneficiaries. Structures can therefore vary enormously. It depends. Your stakeholders can be only 3 people. If we have an organization, we have only the board, the staff, and beneficiaries, right? So these, but if we are a big organization, we have lots of those who are providing. Yes, Lindsay? Yes, Lindsay, you raise your hand.
Madam, the stakeholders could also be the beneficiary.
Yes, of course. I just said stakeholders or the beneficiaries. Like it's written here, the executive staff, the beneficiaries, and if you are, there are other service providers. Like if an NGO is buying papers, so these companies or your stakeholders, right? All those who are connected with your organization. You're not giving profit, but they are connected with the activities of the organization. And it said that structure can therefore vary enormously. For instance, financial donors could include individual private foundation. So for NGOs, National Social Inclusion Foundation is also a stakeholders, right? Because they're connected with the activities of the organization. Government, multilateral institution, the staff can be comprised of paid workers or volunteers, and the board could be executive or non-executive. So all those who are connected with an NGOs are called stakeholders, right? So there are self-benefiting NGOs are often membership organized association designed primarily to provide a benefit to their members, generally as a result of common interest. This we have gone through. They are distinguished by the fact that the financial or labor contributor to the NGOs are themselves members of the groups of intended beneficiaries. Example of self-benefiting NGOs therefore include unions, business association, as well as community patrol group, Alcoholic Anonymous, and amateur sport club. Self, je bénéfice d'eux-mêmes. Qui fait nous rendre une union? Comment nous faisons l'association? Et l'association, disons, nous faisons HIV. Nous, tout le monde qui nous tient HIV, nous faisons une organisation self-benefiting. Parce que nous payons pour nous. Alcoholic Anonymous. Nous joignons ensemble, nous créons une organisation parce que nous avons envie de gagner quelque chose pour nous. This is self-benefiting. Maintenant, il y a other benefiting NGOs. Other benefiting, ça veut dire exister pour les autres bandes bénéficiaires. Correctement, disons, vous trouvez Amnesty, nous avons Greenpeace. Greenpeace, ça va dire, c'est pas travail pour eux, je travaille pour le public, pour un grand bénéficiaire, right? Wider society. So other benefiting NGOs, on the other hand, organized in which the capital and labor are not themselves members, right, of the primary intended beneficiaries group, or the pool of beneficiaries is so broad that the public good produced will be shared by a large segment of the society, broader society. The contributors to these NGOs do not donate to gain exclusive private goods or services to themselves or the self-identified group like Greenpeace, I said, Amnesty, Médecins Sans Frontières, or some useful example of such other benefiting NGOs. Pareillement, NGOs qui créent person with disability, children with disability. Je connais que ça qui crée ça. Quand je get l'histoire des NGOs qui créent le person with disability, c'est pas un parent qui tient à des enfants qui tiennent à un handicap, puis ils ont créé pour, comment dire, pouvoir ça service là. Et ça, on peut mettre comment dire, dans self-benefiting organization, right? Mais quand vous êtes, parce qu'ils peuvent travailler juste pour cette petite communauté-là. Mais quand vous êtes Greenpeace, ce n'est pas de travail, pour eux, parce que ce n'est pas l'environnement-là. C'est eux qui ont envie de travailler pour l'environnement en entier, right? Mot clair là-dedans, là? Any confusion? Aisha? Is it clear for you? Aisha?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Lindsay, you wanted to talk? Yeah. Can you go ahead?
Yes, please return on this the two type of organization, madam. Greenpeace and let's say
Amnesty.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry?
Can you make the difference, please? I missed something.
The difference between these two organizations, self-benefiting organization, or those who work only for a small beneficiaries, is directed, common interest. They have a common interest. Okay? Whereas other benefiting NGOs are like they work for a wider society, not only for themselves. They work for a wider society, like Greenpeace. Okay, you go and read on Greenpeace, Amnesty, and Médecins Sans Frontières how they are working for a wider society, not for themselves, right? But in Mauritius, we have the Mauritius Wildlife Foundation of Society. They work for the environment, right? It's for the largest for everyone. Is it okay?
I have a question. How
is it okay, Lindsay?
Yes. How organization in Mauritius looking focus on dogs, on animals, could be NGO?
Yeah. Yeah, we have PAWS. We have PAWS. So it's an NGO. You see?
It is like
as I said in the first. Sorry?
It is like Greenpeace.
Come again?
The same.
Yeah, no. It can self-benefiting good. Yeah, it can be because they're working for the wider society, right? It's benefiting other benefiting NGOs. Okay. You see, the contributors, other benefit NGOs, is the contributors of these NGOs do not donate to gain exclusive private goods or services to themselves or self-identified group. Yeah? They work for others, not for themselves. Like trade unions. Let's say trade unions. Qui fait nous rendre dans l'union? Qui fait nous rendre dans l'union? Parce que nous avons envie de faire pour nous right, non? Nous pas faire un alcoolique anonymous qui fait moins une organisation. Un amateur sports club qui fait les Jessan Seven parce que moi je travaille pour moi. Un Mauritius Football and Chick Club Youth Organization. Ils travaillent pour lui, only for this group. Nous avons 10 gens qui nous jouent au football, nous rentrons là-dedans, nous travaillons pour ce groupe-là. Right? Maintenant, on dit other benefiting NGOs, lui et l'organisation qui parle justement travaille pour ça membre-là. Ils travaillent pour les autres bénéficiaires, wider society. You understand now? Is it clear, Lindsay?
Clear, madam. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Anyone want clarification? No. So, by the way, I heard you have not received the assignment. The assignment. I posted on Gradebook. Did you receive it? Devika?
We saw it today.
No, it is normally we have to post it on Gradebook. You will go on Gradebook, you will see assignment, right? And you click on assignment and you will see. It's I think last week I posted it. But there was someone who from the group who asked me this that they have not yet received. I said I have already posted. But today in the morning I posted it on announcement.
Yes,
So would you
but we didn't. As such, we get messages on Outlook to which says that we have an assignment. But
yeah, so you want me to post everything on announcement? Is it easy for you? If I have anything, can I post
yes,
on announcement?
yes,
Okay.
yes, madam.
I will try to do it. Yeah, it has to be between 1,000. I forgot to put that. 1,500 to 2,000 words, not more than that. It should be very concise and very clear. Okay, and it's very easy. It's a very easy one. You have to go and look for information, right? About you take only two. Don't take like all the five which I have mentioned, the SDGs. You take two. If you're working with poverty alleviation and education, you work only on poverty alleviation and education. If you're working with gender equality or poverty alleviation. So what the government is doing, what NGOs are doing, right? So be simple, be clear, you will get your marks, right? I'm not too harsh on giving, I'm not too, I'm very lenient on that, but you have to write, okay? So you have to write it very clear. But if you see, if you're writing, it's 1,500, and if I see if there is a flow, don't give me 3,000 words. But if you give me, that's why sometimes I don't put a number of words, because I like to see if you have a flow in your assignment. And if you are giving me the ingredient, what I would like to have in this assignment, right? The content, if there is a flow, if I see you have lots of referencing, I will be very happy. Okay. So, and referencing, guys, try to start writing your referencing Harvard. Okay. The referencing should be in Harvard style, right? Why I'm telling you this? Because when you will be doing your dissertation, it will be easy for you to do your referencing. Is it okay? Is it okay, guys?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, because if you know you need one, so you can start, say, for example, that services, as I said, the government is a welfare state, provides services, is a signatory. You can rewrite it signatory of the SDGs. There are 17 SDGs. Government is working. We have to give our report. We have VNO. Go and look for voluntary national VNO, voluntary national review. We have reviewed some of the SDGs, the status of, it's online, it's online, SDGs. You will see what the government has done, what the NGOs are doing. So you will give me example. You give me example, please. For example, if you say SDGs, NGOs, for example, you will say Caritas, you can say poverty alleviation, and what they are doing, right? So give me, it's a very simple assignment, and this will reflect in your exam question. Okay, so one of the exam question will be like this, and you can just translate it on your answer sheet. Yeah, so try to be read well and go and look for information and write this. Okay, so let's continue. So just give me 1 minute. Okay, guys, I continue. I was organizing transport. Sorry, I had to stop this. Okay. So what we saw, the types of organization. Now let's see about the level of orientation. Okay. So there are like NGOs can also be distinguished according to their orientation. Some of the main form of orientation attribute to NGOs are also as follows. They are charitable. Okay, charitable orientation. Can someone tell me a charitable organization in Mauritius? Because if you will be asked, we have prepared like exam question, but there are several questions in that they will choose. So if you receive for example, if you get a question on level of orientation, you have to give me an example of the organizers. So this is the time you can give me, and I can give you some of the example of NGO. So charitable orientation, needs of the poor distribution of food, clothing or medicine, provision of housing, transport, school. Give me an example of charitable organization in Mauritius. Yes, Devika?
Maybe Human Service Trust.
Yeah, Human Service Trust is a charitable organization. Ashna, a charitable organization.
We have YUVA, a Youth United in Voluntary Action.
Yes. Is it a charitable organization? They
Yes,
provide
it is.
distribution
Yes,
of food.
it is. It is more towards provide charitable to future to the children and the youth.
Yeah, very good. And then we have the service orientation. So service orientation, we have lots, like we have Heart Foundation, like provision of health, family planning or education services in with the program or designed by the NGO. Okay. Self-help orientation. So local people involved, particularly. Hold on 1 minute, please. Sorry, guys. Sorry again. So we have self-help orientation. So local people are involved particularly in the implementation of a project by contributing cash, tools, land, materials, or labor. We have one organization like Go and Read APIDED is one of the organization which is like a self-help orientation. They provide like tools, they provide things to these beneficiaries, to their beneficiaries, so that they can do activities. And then we have empowering orientation. The aim is to help poor people develop a clearer understanding of the social, political, and economic factors. So we empower people to know about their rights. There are lots of organizations like those in like those with HIV and AIDS, like those poor people. We tell them, okay, we act out and just act as a broker, or we can help them like to upgrade themselves, provide them with training and other things. Right? Okay, is it clear? Any question? Any question? Any question, guys? Aisha? Lekwanti? Yeah, Aisha, any question?
No, ma'am, it's clear.
It's clear. Manish? Manish? Please. Alekwanti, please.
No, ma'am, it's clear.
It's clear. Okay. So anyone want to add?
Ma'am, can an organization be both charitable and empowering?
Yes, it can be. It can be both charitable and service-oriented, self-help. An organization, as I said, can move from one quadrant to another quadrant, right? They can do all the four, okay? Like if we take Caritas, they sometimes provide cash to the vulnerable people to start a small business, right? They also provide services. They provide like education to after school, you know, and they also provide they provide food, and they also empower people. So they're an organization, right? Anyone?
Oui, madame.
Oui.
Côté empowerment là, là, côté empowerment orientation là, nous avons dit NEF.
No, I said NEF is not an NGO.
Oh, okay.
It's a parastatal body under the Ministry of Social Integration. Di bon on pose sa question là, Saroja pose sa question là, non, Saroja? Who?
Oui,
Saroja,
madame.
on pose. Di bon
Oui.
pose sa question là parce que quand je peux faire un assignment, quand je peux écrire exam answers, NEF is not an NGO. National Empowerment Foundation is not an NGO, right? It's a parastatal body. Okay.
Oui, madame.
Everyone, please know that. So after typologies and after the orientation, now we have the level of operation. So we have community-based organization which work at community level, grassroots level. These are called community-based organization. Then we have city-wise organization. The travail dans city. Par exemple, Rotary Club of NGOs. These are CSOs and NGOs, level of orientation of NGOs. Sometimes you will say Rotary and Lions Club are not NGO because they are service club. Yeah, but here the person who has research on this, they say that they are city-wide organization. And we have national organizations such as PILS, MFPWA, Red Cross, because they work all across the island, so national organization. And then we have international NGOs. International, as I said, Oxfam, CARE, Save the Children, Amnesty International. So they work across the world, right? So we have community-based, which is at community level. We have city-wide, ça veut dire méthodologique, community, city, national, and international. So these are the level of operation of these organizations. Is it clear? Is it clear? Any question? No. So then we have, so what I repeat and repeat because I want these to be like bien dans toute la tête. I want this to be, you're clear. So what we learned from the start of this unit, what we learned? We pick someone là, parce que je suis content de ce qu'il peut faire. Moi, envie de comprendre. Moi, pas envie que je dise, lire, je ne comprends rien. I want you to be in the picture, and I want you to understand what is all about NGOs, right? And what is the issues, okay? And anyone, volunteer. Okay, Vinesh, your name is lost here. So Vinesh Sukan. Vinesh?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Vinesh?
Yes.
Yeah, tell me.
So
From the start.
So you have been talking about the definition of NGOs. We have different types of a definition depending on the institution. You have talked about the topologies and the type of service oriented, charitable service, service orientation, self-help, empowering. And you even mentioned something at the prison. Madam, I work at the prison and I deal with NGOs.
Good. So you You should have intervened when I was talking about that.
No, I was
Okay,
just
so
letting
if
you
you
explain, but because I do know how they work and how they perform. But
yeah,
I would like to say something. Are you aware of an NGO named
yeah.
Hope?
Hope we yeah, but
Yes.
yeah,
Okay. So you know how they function? They are not for motion, eh? They are here only
they're
for
not from Malaysia.
yeah, they're only here for the foreigners. So we even have
Yeah,
these type of NGOs that, but part of them are foreigners, part of them are Mauritian, but they cater only for the
yeah.
foreigners that are in prisons.
Okay. So you see, there are different types of NGOs, different beneficiaries. You see, they work only for the. So it all depends, as I said, in the objective what's written,
Yeah,
right?
that's it.
They are not affiliated to my organization. I heard about Hope, but I
Yes.
don't know about the objective. Right now, you gave me a work to do now. I will go and look into this information. Then I can share with you in the next session. Right.
Okay,
So
ma'am.
it could finish. So Venus, it's a very important important information you are sharing. So if anyone in this group have an information to share, just raise your hand and share, because we all are a team, right? And we are learning with each other, and it's good. Like for example, in your exam, if you can give such example. Thank you, Venus. You have what I have gone through. Thank you very much.
Okay,
So
ma'am.
now let's go on the function of the NGOs. So NGOs worldwide perform a wide range of services aimed towards human well-being and social welfare. These organizations relentlessly work toward development and bringing a positive change in the society. So all the time, remember that NGOs fight for the right of the vulnerable group, and they like to bring positive change. Nous, on veut add on. Nous, on veut sans la vie du monde là. Charity depuis dans une misère et amener dans for a better well-being, right? So NGOs may have different structure, activities, and policies, but all NGOs are committed toward the cause and perform the function to achieve their respective goals. So tout le monde, de différentes structures, comment nous dire, de différentes activités, et ils travaillent les différentes policies. Par exemple, NHIV, ils travaillent ça, et NHIV, pour adopter une policy, and look to adopt the domestic violence another policy, but to Jimun, to NGO, the committed toward the cause and perform the function to achieve their respective goal. As you know, each organization has a rules and regulation. Zot ena, the document. Okay? Alors, zot gete comment je peux faire ça. Right? And then we have, okay. And then we have another. So apart from relief and advocacy, command service and advocacy, other important functions with local and international NGOs commonly perform in terms of welfare and development are provided by CLOG. Command the main typologies of the organization. Ça, c'est une recherche, hein? C'est pas moi qui peux dire, c'est une recherche qui me dit. So it's about providing services and advocacy, but CLOG tells that there are other types of other function of NGOs, the grassroots development organization. We have local community-based southern NGOs, which often have to links with popular development agencies in the livelihood struggle and may receive external funding. So these are often very small scale, but may expand considerably to embrace a web of connected grassroots action. Examples such as SEWA in India. Go and read, and you will see these organizations like SEWA, like Grameen Bank, how they have started like social entrepreneurship, right? So grassroots development organization, they work at grassroots level. So the function is still like working for the not vulnerable, for people, for the beneficiary. And then we have popular development agencies that operate community-based projects, and we also become involved in lobbying, you see, for wider policy as their role expand. Example include Oxfam, Action Aid, Save the Children. So popular, they are about development agencies, like they work for the world. And then we have public service contractors working closely in government and official aid agency hired to provide services such as health, basic. Some NGOs are now so heavily dependent on such government funding that their ability to act autonomously is often arguably seriously undermined. Okay, so these you have to go only through this, and we have technical innovative organizations that operate their own pioneering projects, such as the Intermediate Technology or the Aga Khan Foundation. So you can go and read on this if you have time, but don't. Go and read on this, right? And now you see we have, these are also the function of the organization in terms of different roles. So if I have given you an assignment, you can write it like, okay, in terms of SDG in poverty alleviation. See, for example, you're taking poverty alleviation, you can say there is protection. Why? They are providing relief to victims of disaster and assisting the poor. For example, if you're taking poverty alleviation, you can say that Caritas, for example, Caritas, the roles of NGOs in promoting SDGs and to achieve the goals and the targets, they are doing these functions: protection, prevention, promotion, and transformation. And then you just go through what they are doing in protection in terms of poverty alleviation, what they are doing in terms of education, in terms of poverty alleviation, and what they are doing protection in terms of gender equality. So you can write your essay like this, or you can write it differently. So these are the main different NGOs' role, right? So in terms of prevention, you know, it's about reducing people's vulnerabilities to income diversification and saving. You teach the person. Teach a man to fish. You have promotion, so you do like sensitization campaign, okay? And you transformation, right? We transform, we go for advocacy. Transformation is all about NGOs advocating for the right of these people in terms of redressing social, political, and economic exclusion or oppression, right? So if you want to write your essay taking these headlines, you can take it and you write it, right? So why it is important to have NGOs in welfare provision? So the relationship of NGOs with the state is a major determinant of their development contribution. So as Clark argued, it is the state that gives NGOs the space and the autonomy to organize, network, and campaign. So if you see China, there is very limited NGOs. Why? Because they are not being given the space by the government. So the state is the one that provide like space for NGOs to survive. Like in Mauritius, the government had the registration of association where NGOs, a group of people, volunteers can go and register themselves as an organization. So although the nature of the linkages between government and NGOs cannot be generalized as local political networks, vary considerably, these linkages nonetheless depend upon whether voluntary organizations act. It's important to know if they're acting in parallel with government, in direct opposition, or as a vehicle for strengthening the representation and bargaining power of weaker groups in society. There are different organizations, but you have to see why they are doing. Are they working with the government? Are they working as a substitute? Are they contributing? So all these are questionable, and you will see why they are important. So some NGOs adopt instead of maximizing cooperation with the government so as to get government to adopt some of their agenda. Sometimes nous dire, OK, nous restons bien avec le gouvernement, nous on vit ça. But sometimes there are NGOs that fight that protest on the road, right, with pancard and everything. So for instance, in some countries such as in India, it has been argued that NGOs work much more closely with government, possibly compromising the independence in the process. Sometimes it's good to work with the government, but sometimes it's pas bon parce que qui fait nous former un groupe pour aller fight pour eux, mais parfois c'est le gouvernement, les services avant NGOs là pour faire ce travail, right? Any questions so far? Or is it clear? Is it clear? Okay, Ravish?
Yes.
Yeah, dis-moi. T'es clair là? Cause Ravish? T'es clair? Pas
Oui,
clair?
madame. Claire,
T'es
madame.
clair, okay. Okay.
Oui.
So, in the south veut dire quand du monde dit south, hein, ça veut dire l'équateur. Right? Équateur, so south, en bas, ça c'est south, sub-Saharan countries. Après, là-haut, nous dit ça, north. So in the south, some NGOs have strongly supported the nationalist policies of certain government while muting the criticism of other aspects of the government, like the bad record of this government in the area of human rights and democracy. Qui fait un NGOs nous créer? Parce qu'il nous peut trouver qui est là, equality, non? Pas de droits humains, comment dire, vous n'êtes pas payé le même droit que tout le monde. Correct? Pareil, comme si nous avons des personnes with disabilities. Il y a beaucoup d'affaires qui nous font pour nous venir avec une policy, qui nous viennent avec un acte, tout ça là, pour ça, là, non? Parce qu'il nous y a une Human Rights Declaration que le gouvernement a signé. Alors, nous citons que le gouvernement donne ça respect là à ça personnes with disabilities là. Il paraît dans tout domaine. So other NGOs in both the North and the South, in contrast, have made it a point to limit working relationship with government to a minimum while maximizing their critical stand. For instance, in regions such as Latin America, NGOs have tended to be far more confrontational and in open opposition to mainstream government policy. Trouvez enough place, je limite ban working relationship, okay? Je pas oui, tout à fait. Mais je open opposition to mainstream government policy. Je fight for the right of these people, right? There is a need for the involvement of NGOs and grassroots for welfare and development projects to be effectively, efficiently, and equitably run. So NGOs have several advantages as compared to the public sector. In theory, at least, NGOs are based on principle of voluntarism and local participation rather than top-down control. We are bottom up. No get problem ban NGOs that look into problem of their people, of the vulnerable group. So according to Desai, NGO provide expertise in development software, participatory approaches, community organization, public-private partnership, stakeholder ownership strategies. They are more innovative, adaptable, cost-effective, and aware of local situation and specificities. Their grassroots representation bring legitimacy and community mobilization to program and project. Of course, NGOs work at grassroots level, right? Je connais vraiment le problème, right? Et parfois, je trouve une solution qui, vite, ça veut dire development software, pareil, comment nous get braille pour une person, comment dire, pas blind, dire ça, partial blind, tout ça là, hein? Et nous avons un braille qui nous sert. C'est tout ça là qui fait créer. Parce que c'est un NGOs qui trouve ça un problème quand tu peux travailler avec ça monde là. OK? Après, they are more innovative. Tu fais une innovation. Je ne pas pour stick to ce qui besoin faire ça, which is adaptable, cost effective, because they are aware of local situation. No? Après, be aware qui peut arriver dans ça at gross level. So NGOs are attributed with greater sensitivity to people's livelihood needs and often have greater technical skill. For example, NGO qui peut travailler, disons, on veut dire ça, person with disability. I take this example because it's easier for me and you can take other example. Huh? For example, this parent who has set up these NGOs. Je peux plus in sa sensitivity là parce que les enfants aussi là-dedans, right? So, je peux faire ça, je peux supposer qui besoin in technical skill parce que je vais occuper ces enfants là. So at the same time, the small scale and lack of red tape, red tapeism, should make them more flexible and responsive with the freedom to challenge official development priorities as appropriate, right? So NGOs are task-oriented and their members dedicated to achieving social or welfare goals as end rather than as mean of achieving political score. NGOs can offer essential local knowledge about local conditions and vulnerable groups. They can deliver more rapidly. Why more rapidly? Because pena red tapeism, pena bureaucracy, they're not answerable to the government, they're not answerable to anyone, they're volunteer, they're fairly. And more efficiently than through governmental institutions, services to vulnerable and difficult to reach population. You know, in Mauritius is so small. Nous connaissons tout le monde, mais quand on va pays l'Afrique, in the remote areas, in India, when you go to the remote areas, sometimes government cannot do anything. It's the NGO, the local NGOs that help these people, right? It's easier for them because they know these NGOs and people go toward them. Like if you go and read about Gakaka, you will see how in Gakaka, you will see how there are local court. Comment ban NGOs avec ban du monde de la localité, de créer ban institution, par exemple le panchayat. Tu vois là, ban ça fait comme ça, right? So these are these people who know the community. So there is a tendency for state provision to be available in a crisis, and this is not sufficient for many problems which need continuing support. For many people, having a social worker involves stigma, right? The stigma of being a client, taking help. Most NGOs are able to provide help without this feeling of stigma, and the staff do not regard themselves as professionals, especially where they are working in a voluntary capacity. Self-help groups believe that particular understanding acceptance is offered by people who have first-hand experience of a problem. Moi, je connais ça, là, si j'ai envie empower eux, je trouve ok, je vais besoin pièce, je pièce me donne right? Je trouve je pas faire je donne un training, right? Parce que moi avec eux tous les jours je connais qui je pena, right? So however the role of NGOs do not stop only at watching out for state institutions, they have widened the focus in recent years and have come to act as self-acclaimed watchdog, not only of political institutions, but also of international economic institutions or corporations in particular, right? So, the public watchdog, right? That also economic institution and corporation, right? Côté l'économie, comment tu empower, comment tu mets pas à travail, comment tu contribuer dans la société. So Chan Hock argued the most effective proof that NGOs were shifting their target from political to the economic order, at least in terms of media attention, was given by the massive street protests against the meeting of global economic institutions, such as the WTO, World Trade Organization Ministerial Conference in Seattle in November 1999, the Battle of Seattle, the IMF World Bank meeting in Prague in September 2000. So, Astel Jimun, ban NGOs, so they protested my Wildlife Foundation, Worldwide Foundation. So they fight at higher level. Je peux trouver quand il y a un G10, G5, G15, je peux trouver qui, comment dire, quand il y a une grande conférence peut faire en dedans, je peux trouver une NGOs, une pancarte qui fait parce que je peux envie qui ça va issue. Ça paraît comment nous dire pour LGBTI. Before, people were not aware what is happening, yes or no. But now, because they have gone on the street, le chemin, je peux ça, je peux mettre pas encore, as the United Nations and other governments, je peux commencer à faire ban strategies pour donner le droit, right? So these are the je peux trouver, je te lis ça exemple là, je peux trouver comment Nestlé, comment NGOs in fight, comment NGO Greenpeace, for example, in campaign against Shell for the plan of sinking the old platform brand spot. Je te connais, Tina Shell, c'est pareil comment ici nous sommes à Wakasho, right? Wakasho, qui nous fait, nous check tout ça, débris là, nous avons ce bateau là, mais pareil comme un shell, le fini quitte ce bateau avec ce de l'huile tout, mais Greenpeace in Jelly, non, tu as besoin de tirer ça depuis là, right? Of share for their behavior and the conflict with the organic people in Nigeria. So you go and read these examples, okay? Par exemple, the discovery of sweatshop producing for Nike in Southeast Asia in 1990, when NGOs in protest, parce qu'ils ont fait child labor, right? Ils ont fait child labor, là, NGOs in protest, non, pas capable de faire child labor, ils ont besoin sans cette façon de faire pas d'affaires. So you see how NGOs protest, après ça, for public awareness, right? So more recently, social media has empowered NGOs even further by providing them with a means to create a viral spread of anti-corporate campaign almost effortlessly. One of the undisputed leaders in the field in Greenpeace, with its impressive and effective campaigns in Costco for its unsustainable seafood policy, or again Nestle for sourcing palm oil for companies that engage in unsustainable deforestation, thereby threatening the livelihood of people and animals alike. So, quand ban NGOs, ban grand NGOs, quand je trouvais qui ban compagnie peut faire des affaires qui contre la nature et qui peut unsustainable deforestation, je t'ai voice out. Okay? These are the function of NGOs. Comment je peux voice out, comment je peux advocate. Et il y a beaucoup de successful case, par exemple, pour Nestlé, c'est un successful case, pour Nike, c'est un successful case, et pour Greenpeace, c'est un successful case. Après ça, nous prenons un exemple là, right? Now, shortcoming. Il est important pour vous là, hein? Shortcoming, vous bien combien? So, qui fait les shortcoming by NGOs? So, more recently, words of caution have been expressed regarding the extent to which NGOs have lived up to expectation. Despite the virtue, NGOs are not the panacea for solving social problems. So, pas solve two problems. Increasing questions have been asked. Can NGOs deliver all that is expected of them? How effective and efficient are they? Right? Combien sont effectifs? Mais il y a un problème, un shortcoming by NGOs qui ne sont pas capables de survivre, ils ne sont pas capables de faire tout le travail. Par exemple, ils ont un financial constraint. The contractor role as service providers and project implement can make NGOs heavily dependent on financial support from the government and international agency, thus compromising the traditional autonomy, bringing them too close for comfort. Ça means shortcoming. Ça, moi pas besoin l'argent, moi besoin avec le gouvernement, right, to the state and weakening the links with the grassroots. The second one of the other major criticism of NGOs is that, unlike most governments, they are almost totally unaccountable to the wider public. Ils ne sont pas accountable. Ils ont gagné l'argent, ils ont fait le travail là, mais de votre annual report, tu peux trouver une petite affaire. Ils ne sont pas accountable to the public, right? Then after to the heterogeneity of NGOs in Avoye may also be a weakness at the sheer diversity, because they are diverse and contrasting philosophies can make coordination problematic, if not impossible at times. They may have divergent interests and ambiguities in intent and vision. Par exemple, parfois, il y a un NGO de vision, c'est l'environnement. Mais at the end of the day, on peut trouver, on peut help the poor. Ça veut dire, il y a une confusion. All right? Contrasting philosophies. And there is rivalry rather than collaboration. Is, unfortunately, often the order of the day. In fact, competition and intrigues have among NGOs often just as intense and destructive as conflict in the political and business. Parfois, de Maurice même, vous trouvez dans des NGOs, je ne peux pas collaborer, je peux faire le même travail, mais chacun zalou sur camarade, je ne peux pas collaborer. Among NGOs in the North and the South, a source of intense competition that can quickly make allies into adversaries is funding, right? Some observers contend that nothing has proven more problematic in terms of building common fronts and common programs among NGOs than fights over fund, which often mask as fight over principle or politics. Instead of collaborating to work in one project, I will do the, for example, I can do the sensitization campaign, you can do empowerment. Non, NGOs là pour dire, non, moi, moi, pour faire tout. Alors, ce qui, moi, je connais, moi, pour moi, j'arrive. Yeah? Okay, moving here. Yeah. Guys, can you give me 1 minute? 1 minute, please. Sorry again, guys. You know, my daughter is here because my husband is not too well and my little one wants to eat pancake. Sorry. So we're organizing for her. So where I was? Some observers contend that nothing has proven more problematic in terms of building common fronts and common programs among NGOs than fights over funds, which often mask as fight over principle of politics. In some countries, NGOs are unable or able to offer better salaries and work conditions than government agencies, leading to drain the qualified personnel from the public sector. So Clark argued that not all NGOs are effective. Okay, not all NGOs are effective. Some talk a fine patter but do little for the vulnerable. In some countries, NGOs congregate close to big cities and do not reach into the poverty belt. Like some of the NGOs, they work for a community, okay? They don't go to the poverty belt. Like you will see in the South, like I said to you, in Africa, for example, in Zambia, they work only in the cities, right? Because it's too big, okay? Any questions so far? Any question? Any question? Guys? Devika?
Madame, quand on peut dire shortcomings of NGOs, nous prenons le contexte Maurice. Par exemple, on dit d'un NGO, nous avons un social worker. Oui, nous avons registered social workers working for NGOs. Quelque part, il n'y a pas un shortcoming.
Il y a un shortcoming. Nous travaillons beaucoup là. We work a lot on this with the Ministry of Social Security. We had NGO Trust Fund, we had MACROS, we have the Mauritius Qualification Authority. We're trying to have like a national institution where social worker can go and have a license. But it is very difficult. We are still working on that, right? Nous pas capable de dire aucun du monde qui travaille dans NGO est un professionnel. Quand moi j'ai un master là-dedans, moi pas capable de dire moi un professional social worker parce que moi j'ai un certificat. Vous pouvez comprendre là? Ça même qui devient difficile. Right? Is it clear?
OK.
Mais tandis que quand on est dans ça, quand on est l'Angleterre, il y a plusieurs institutions que tu dois register as a professional social worker. Okay? So another criticism is that NGOs which arise from recognized inadequacy in provision allow the gaps and area of neglect to continue. Providing routine help to individuals may have the effect of distracting attention from structural causes of problem and contribute to the problem to perdure. Homelessness and poverty are notably examples illustrating this point. Parfois, comment dire, vous trouvez une critique de dire, mais qui fait Caritas, disons, ou bien n'importe quelle organisation qui peut exister, mais qui fait pauvreté peut encore continuer. Ça, une critique, ça le ban NGOs. Sinon, pas besoin de la pauvreté. Right or wrong? Vous trouvez peut increase même. Par exemple, National Empowerment Foundation peut travailler avec beaucoup du monde pauvre, mais qui fait des papiers aller, right? Ça m'a peut dire National Empowerment Foundation, ça m'a dire pour un NGOs, NGOs. Ça peut travailler, oui. qui fait la drogue puis encore continuer. C'est une critique envers ban NGO. There are also important questions of accountability and legitimacy, for example, regarding the claim to speak for the poor or any other relevant vulnerable group for this matter. Parfois, c'est pas accountable and legitimate, right? The dire oui, nous peut fight for the right, but est-ce qu'il vraiment nous peut fight for the right là, right? And then we have the role of voluntary sector has expanded and the amount of money involved have increased. More cases of mismanagement of fund. And about mismanagement of fund and sometimes fraudulent activities have occurred. Si je lis un journal, si je surfing dans Google, je peux trouver comment il y a mismanagement of fund. Je ne prends l'argent avec National Social Inclusion Foundation, mais je peux faire activité qui bien faire. Right? Et par exemple, groupe Elan, vous avez fermé parce qu'ils gagnent l'argent depuis NGO Trust Fund pour faire social entrepreneurship, mais c'est pas qu'à use sa money là, en fait, et qu'à bien avant, mais parce qu'ils ont usé differently. So, mismanagement of fund, okay? NGOs are not free from corruption. There may be briefcase of fictitious NGOs which do not have genuine agenda, but rather they may be founded for other reasons than altruism and collective self-interest. Il y a beaucoup NGOs, vous êtes, moi, dans le domaine des NGOs off record, il y a beaucoup this for self-interest, okay? So they can offer opportunity for self-advancement rather than the advancement of collective interest, right? So the conclusion is NGOs remain important as they can encourage government to adopt innovation from the voluntary sector, educate and sensitize the public about their rights and opportunities, collaborate in making government programs more effective, adjust programs to the public needs, strengthen local institutions and make them more accountable, act as conduit for citizen consultation and advocacy. So guys, this is the last slides. And it's very easy, like Sukan gave a clear picture of what we have gone through this module. It was all about what is an NGO, the typologies, the commonalities in the definition of NGOs, the typologies of NGOs is about service delivery and advocacy, the level of orientation, the level of operations, the significance, the why of an NGO, why NGO exists in a country, okay, and the drawbacks, why, financial constraints, and you will see, and the benefits of NGOs. Is it clear? Is it clear, guys? Is it clear?
Oui, madame, une petite question.
Yeah, allez-y.
Oui.
Dis-moi.
Moi, tu peux envie connaître le policy advocacy. Nous sommes capables de parler un petit peu pareil comme on CSU peut faire là actuellement.
Oui, tu peux dire, parce que je peux venir dire, du monde qui est dans la police, non. Mais policy advocacy, c'est différent. Policy advocacy veut dire, nous designons sa police là, right? Ou bien nous pénalisons, mais nous pouvons trouver un problème qui arise. Le gouvernement a besoin de faire ça, tu as besoin de faire ça, tu as besoin de faire ça. Là, le gouvernement, il vient avec une policy. Pareil, comme on dit, quand NGOs peut travailler avec les victimes domestic violence, on trouve qu'ils nous besoin de travailler aussi avec les perpetrators, avec les gens qui battent là. Là, nous voice out pour le gouvernement sans policy. This advocate, nous fait, comment dire, l'avocat du diable là. Nous fait avocat pour ça, nous vulnerable group là, qui paye là. Tandis que le CSU peut faire sensitization campaign avec qui est là, qui paye, qui est là. OK? Is it clear?
Oui, madame.
Ça veut dire, ça peut faire sensitization, de sensibiliser du monde, je peux dire, il y a ça. Mais policier advocacy, c'est comment dire, avocat. Nous advocate pour ça, du monde là. OK? For their rights. OK? Any question?
Oui, madame, merci.
Oui, Devika?
Oui, madame, quand je fais tout à l'heure, une information plutôt. Pareil, comment je peux dire, même NGO peut help in autant, mais le problème peut continuer à augmenter. What could be the reason?
Oui. What could be the reason? This is a critique, no? This is a critique du monde. Je peux faire 10% de self-interest, je peux faire self-growth, vous trouvez? Ça veut dire que je pas faire sensitization campaign, je pas fait ouais, Nutella dans frigidaire. 1 minute guys. Again. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Yes, I was where I was. I forgot. We were talking about sensitization campaign and advocacy, no? Right?
Je pose une question là, qui fait even the NGOs are working.
Ok. Ouais, qui fait arriver. Mais si moi, par exemple, mon travail en poverty alleviation issue, mon gars en laws, parce que comment je raconte la fois dernière, qui NGOs, ils dépendent le funders. OK? Quand ils dépendent le funders, ça veut dire si les gars funding, c'est pour faire ça petit projet là. Right? Ils peuvent faire ça petit projet, ils finissent faire ça projet là, ils finissent. Puis la continuité. Right? Si puis la continuité qui arrive. Si je pas follow up, je ne pourrais continuer si je pas réussi à faire. Mon gars, existe un petit raison pour faire ce travail-là. All right? À cause de ça après, NGOs, comment on veut dire, de Maurice, nous travaillons avec un petit groupe de bénéficiaires. Disons, moi, mon travail, mon pas stigmatise personne. Hein? Mon travail, juste de Rochebois avec ban drogué. Mais qui arrive ban drogué qui dans flac? Je peux comprendre là, mais comme ça même qui est augmenté. Ça même qui paraît si fini. Ça veut dire que nous besoin une massive stratégie, une grand action que nous besoin take pour faire ça. Mais ça, pas pour une, au contraire, une emergence of other social issues. Right? Is it clear?
Oui, madame.
Anyone? Anyone? Vinesh?
Yes, madame. J'ai envie de poser une question.
Yes, Vinesh? You raise your hand?
Yes. What do you think about NGOs that the executive...
Okay. So, guys, if I said 10, it's 10. Can I stop here because I have to get ready a bit to go to the hospital? So,
yes, madam.
I will catch up the 20 minutes, as I said. If it need be to catch up in another additional session, I will help you. No worries, right? So goodbye and good luck for your assignment. And I think there is a date to give to me to give back. Okay, so you post it, right? Thank you, Lilette. Thank you very much. I need lots of what you have said. Okay, bye. Take care.
Au revoir, madame.
Bye-bye, madame.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Au revoir.
Yeah, bye.